Hey guys, it's Kyra from KyraWilliamsFitness.com, and today I am going to be talking about the 5 foundations of our health. And I know you may be following me because you want to lose fat, but I'm going to tell you this. If your body isn't healthy and your body does not feel safe, then your body is not going to release fat. So in order to have the dream physique that you want, in order to have all of the energy you want, in order to be able to build muscle, in order to be able to feel amazing and look amazing, you have to be healthy. So these 5 foundations of health are very, very, very important. Even if you are just like, hey, I just want like a 6-pack. Okay, but you have to be focused on your health. Because maybe when you were in your 20s, you could get by on Oreos and chips and salsa and have that physique you want. But the older we get, the harder it is. And, if you are that person who's in your 20s, I know it's hard to think forward. But if you go ahead and take care of this stuff, then it's easier as you get older. And if you're 45 years old and you're watching me, then doing it now as a 45-year-old is going to make your life a heck of a lot easier when you're 65. So be thinking of that. But anyway, so with that said, these are the 5 foundations of health. So these are the 5 foundational things that you absolutely must do if you want to look and feel amazing. And I'm going to also give you some tips on how to make these part of your life. So the first one is sleep. And I bring this one up first because it is like literally the foundation to everything. And to be perfectly honest with you, last week I did a workout that made me extremely sore. Like when I say extremely sore, I'm not just talking about like, oh, it hurts to walk. No, my legs actually swelled up really, really badly. I laugh about it now because it's over, but I was a little concerned there for a minute. My body was retaining so much water. In fact, I was like chugging water all day on Sunday and I was like, I'm not peeing. This is weird. And then in the middle of the night on Sunday night, like my body was actually able to release everything. And I like woke up in the middle of the night and peed like 2 or 3 times, because it was just storing that water, holding on to water to help heal the muscle fibers. So the cells were holding on to that water. Anyway, but the whole reason that I think that all of that happened was because I did that workout on Friday. Friday night, I didn't sleep as many hours as I needed to. And then Saturday night, I got poor quality sleep, even though I got the hours. So I had 2 bad nights of sleep in a row. And I think, so then on Monday morning, I woke up and like, I actually got a good amount of sleep and good quality sleep on Sunday night. And I felt like a different person on Monday. So sleep is absolutely foundational to our health. Like not only does it help us like restore our muscles after a hard workout, but when we're sleeping, our body that's when we were producing the most human growth hormone. And that is the hormone that comes in and kind of like cleans up everything in the whole body, not just builds muscle, but like it restores every system and every cell in your body. So getting adequate sleep and good quality sleep is incredibly, incredibly important that's why it's one of the foundations of our health. So, somewhere, research shows somewhere between like 7 and 9 hours. Everybody's completely different. Waking up and going to bed at the same times can be really, really helpful. And then just creating like a really good sleep environment for yourself. So lowering your body temperature. So going ahead and getting that AC down before you go to bed, white noise machine, blackout curtains if you can, or a face mask. Not having a 115-pound dog sleep on top of you and hog your whole bed is ideal. Not that that's something I deal with. But then there's also some really great supplements out there like magnesium. Magnesium glycinate is a really good one. Valerian root. There's some others. But then also not having like really heavy meals before you go to bed, but also making sure that you're eating enough, because sometimes if you're not eating enough, your cortisol is going to be spiked, and that's not going to help you get to sleep either, or stay asleep. Like sometimes your blood sugar, like you might get like a crazy blood sugar spike in the middle of the night based on what you ate earlier in the day, or your body might like release some insulin, release some blood sugar out of being what's being stored, because your blood sugar goes so low, and that might wake you up. So eating, healthy, balanced meals throughout the day, not eating too heavily right before you go to bed, so your digestion's not keeping you up, and avoiding caffeine. Everybody's going to be different here too, because everybody has different sensitivity levels to caffeine. For me, I just try and keep it before 1 p.m. or earlier, and just try not to go overboard with the actual amount of milligrams that I have as well in the mornings. But everybody's going to be super different there. I've got another really amazing podcast on sleep, and with a sleep coach, and then another one with an acupuncturist who goes through like different kinds of tapping and certain pressure points that you can utilize to help you fall asleep or fall back to sleep. So sleep is number one. Moving on to number two. I'm trying to kind of put these in like an order where they like all kind of tie in together. So let's talk about blood sugar. Stabilizing your blood sugar. We want our blood sugar to be stable, because if we have peaks and valleys in our blood sugar, that is going to create more inflammation in the body. When we have crazy, like high, low blood sugar drops, that's going to impact our mood. It's going to impact our energy levels. And then if that's chronic, then that's how we get to diabetes. And that's a metabolic syndrome. So this is tied in with our metabolism. If we're doing this all the time, and then we lose sensitivity to insulin because we're constantly like, we're way up here, and then insulin comes in and it's like, no, come back down to normal. And then we come back up here, and then insulin's like, no, come back down to normal. Eventually, like our body kind of gets sick of that, and then we lose our sensitivity to insulin, and then that's how diabetes happens. So obviously that's really, really bad. But we want to, if we can just kind of like cruise, right? If we can just kind of like we're going to go up and down a little bit, of course, but our body wants to be just at homeostasis all the time. So it's going to do what it needs to do to get us back into that level. So if we can just kind of assist it, that's going to be hugely helpful for our metabolism as well. So for those of you guys who are here because you want to lose body fat, I got this for you. So like 15 years ago, when I went from like 145 to like 140, maybe 140, 145 to like 125 pounds. So I dropped I didn't even know I had weight to lose, but my body composition completely changed. That's when I went from like a size like 8 to like a size like 4. And it wasn't like my body comp, just like you guys have seen the pictures, my body comp changed, right? The way that I did that was by balancing my blood sugar. So if you've ever heard the phrase like never eat a naked carb, that's basically what I did. So if you, in the mornings, you like to eat oatmeal or you like to eat toast, okay, that's cool, but that's carbs. So you need to pair that with some variation of protein. So if you like to have toast, then maybe you have a couple poached eggs with your toast. You like to have oatmeal, okay, that's cool. Then I need you to also have a protein shake. At lunch, you're like, oh, I want the sandwich. Cool. Does it have meat on it? You want a wrap. Cool. Does it have chicken in it? All right. Dinner is coming around. You want pasta. Okay, cool. Does it have fish in it? Does it have shrimp in it? Does it have chicken sausage? You want a snack. Okay, well, that's cool that you want a piece of fruit, but you need to have some cottage cheese. You need to have some Greek yogurt. Pairing your protein and your carbs. So carbohydrates, your body breaks them down, turns it into sugar. So now your blood sugar is going to come up and the insulin's going to come in and it's going to take it and it's going to put it where it needs to go. That's cool. But if we can just have it go to And then now you've got that protein that's not going to let it come super high up. That protein is going to kind of balance things and just kind of make it go like, all right, we're up, but we're cruising. And so that's going to keep you from having these peaks and valleys. So pairing your protein, but then you can take that a step further and you can throw some fat in there. So maybe you want to have some cottage cheese and apple and some almonds, or if you're doing the eggs and toast in the morning, you eat your egg yolks. So now you've got some fat too. And that's also going to help balance things out. And then if you want to take it another step further, and this is going to tie into digestive health, fiber. How can you get fiber into those meals? So if you're having that apple, cool, it's got fiber in it. If you're having bread, maybe you have some kind of bread that has like extra grains in it. So now it's a little bit more of a fibrous bread. You want to have dinner, is your pasta. This is where like the chickpea pasta, it can be really helpful, or like the garbanzo bean pasta, which I just read actually has like a lot of glyphosate was found, glyphosate, yeah. Anyway, a pesticide was found in it. So look into that. But things that have high fiber, vegetables, fruits, those are kind of my go-tos. I'm not a big processed food person, but if you are eating fruits and vegetables, most of the time you're going to get fiber in there. And that's also going to help you kind of like stabilize that blood sugar. So, obviously, like avoiding sugary drinks. Oh my gosh, please don't drink soda. There's like literally nothing redeeming about it. I'm such a jerk about soda. Like I don't understand it. It's like cigarette smoking to me. It's just like, why? Like anyway, we're moving on. No judgment, but avoid like orange juice. Okay, that's not soda, but like it's got a lot of sugar in it, and it doesn't have anything in there that would slow down the digestion like fiber would. Fiber slows down the digestion, protein slows down digestion, and fat slows down digestion. So you're just going to get this big old peak. That's not helping you. Okay. Don't do that. And it's not, I don't get it. Anyway. And then eating regular meals throughout the day. Everybody's going to be different here. Some people like to eat every 3 hours. Some people like to fast a little while. It's all going to be bio-individual for you. I don't think that anybody should be forced to do one particular thing. I do think that everything is bio-individual. And, but like eating regularly throughout the day, not just like, I'm going to eat at 7 a.m. and then I'm not going to eat again until 5 p.m. Like that's not great. Okay. So, eating throughout the day, like regular meals, like, even if it's just like a little cup of Greek yogurt, that will help stabilize your blood sugar levels. And then that is like, and then also too, when you do that, like you're not super starving. If you've gone like 13 hours without any food, you're not super starving and you're going to make a healthier choice. So throw that in there as well. But that's going to help balance your blood sugar. That's one of our foundations of health. And it's also a really great way to lose body fat. Because when your body is constantly, when your insulin's high, that's a anabolic hormone. So if your blood sugar's high, and your insulin comes in, that's anabolic. So that means it is a storage hormone. You are going to be storing. So we don't want a ton of insulin coming in to get that blood sugar back down, because it's going to be impossible for you to lose fat when your insulin is high, okay? So let's talk about supporting digestive health, because we just talked about fiber. Now, digestive health is like so much more than just eating fiber. It's so much more than just pooping. That is part of it without a doubt, because, if you eat fiber rich foods, then you're going to poop more often. And that is part of how we get rid of the toxins out of our body, spent hormones, things that we don't want in our body anymore. We should be pooping at least once a day. And so having that fiber can be really helpful there. Magnesium citrate and chloride. I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but that will also help too. but that's more of like a nervous system thing, because if your nervous system, like you probably experience where you go on vacation and you don't poop because your nervous system is like in sympathetic mode. And so we need to like bring some parasympathetic activities, which we're going to get into shortly too, healthy stress coping. But that is going to also support your digestive system. I mean, we've part of our, you know, like the saying, like, listen to your gut. So our gut houses part of our nervous system, and when we support our nervous system, then we are also supporting our digestive health. So I'm going to get into a little bit about coping mechanisms in a second, but let's still stay focused on digestion. Fiber, parasympathetic activities that keep us like rest and digest, that's parasympathetic. So we need to like be calm. And so adding in like calming supplements like ashwagandha and rhodiola, things like that kind of like bring us kind of like down into more chill mode, can be really, really helpful for the digestive system as well, because when we're constantly just like, we're not digesting things properly. Bringing in more fermented foods can help add to our gut flora. So obviously having probiotics, but then probiotic rich foods like kombucha, sauerkraut, kimchi, like anything that you want to ferment, like, or even like sourdoughs, yogurt, those things, they have good bacteria. And so we've got our gut, right? And so we've got like, this is inside our gut, and this is like our microbiome. And so all this stuff in here is like, we've got this good bacteria. And then outside, we've got stuff that we don't want in. And we want all this stuff to stay in, but then we want to add some more of that good stuff. So that way we've got like good gut flora. But what can happen is if we have a lot of inflammation, especially in the digestive system, like our gut lining should look like, it should be nice and tight. But then if we've got inflammation, we've got leaky gut, stuff like that, now we're like this. And so that the bad can get in and the good can get out, and we don't want that. So this is going to be something I'm not going to go into super long detail about, but leaky gut, no bueno. We want to do things that will be supportive of our digestive health. So if we're dealing with like SIBO, we're dealing with leaky gut, there are going to be certain foods that are going to be more helpful, and there's certain foods that are going to be less helpful. But overall, we want to think about adding that good bacteria, and those fermented foods are a really good way to get those. And then adding in just like making sure that you're drinking plenty of water, you're hydrating, because if you aren't hydrating, then it's going to be really hard to poop everything out. But then like also keeping just moving around can stimulate the digestive system as well. Bone broth, collagen, gelatin powders, because I always get confused there, but those things are all really, really helpful to the lining of the digestive tract. L-glutamine, that's another really good supplement as well, because that it just helps those cells. It just helps that gut lining stay intact. And that will ultimately support your digestive health as well. So like I said, rest and digest, right? Let's talk about stress and healthy coping mechanisms to stress, because if we're constantly in this fight or flight mode, then our digestive system isn't going to be able to function properly, and then we're not going to be able to get all of the nutrients from our food, which is going to be number 5 that I get to see. All this stuff ties in, right? Also, if we're like super stressed out all the time, then it's going to be it's going to be hard for us to sleep properly. And then if we're not sleeping properly, then we're going to have blood sugar, instability the next day. All of this stuff ties in, you guys. It all ties in. Like if you think that you don't sleep well and that has nothing to do with why you can't lose 15 pounds, you are dead wrong. Or if you think that you can lose 15 pounds and you can do it by eating Doritos, you're also wrong there too. I mean, you might, but you're not going to feel very good. You're going to have a lot of nutrient deficiencies, and this is not going to be good for you long term. Your thyroid's going to be out of whack in the end, and and then we're in a lot of trouble then. So anyway, healthy coping mechanisms. This is going to help our digestive system. It's going to support our digestive system. It's going to support our sleep. So stress is something that we can't necessarily get rid of. Like, we can't just go live in a cave. And if we did live in a cave, we'd probably be stressed out there because there'd be a bear that we'd have to fight off, because the bear's like, that's my cave. So, so practicing some kind of like mindfulness or meditation, journaling, walking the dog, just like going for a walk and like doing breath work, or sitting inside your apartment and doing breath work, for, anywhere, like 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, that will help. And then when you feel that stress coming on, that anxiety coming on, and like, you'll feel so much better, right? Exercising regularly can also help you cope with stress. Just this morning, I was in a really bad mood, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go to the gym, because nothing matters when I am at the gym. And guess what? I came home and I was in a much better place mentally. And then of course, just talking to someone, whether it's your coach or your therapist or your BFF or your sister, having someone that you can talk to, and not just like dump on them, but like someone that you can talk to and that's going to love you. And like, just communication can be so, so, so helpful. But whatever your stress coping mechanisms are, figure out what one or two of them are and utilize them. And sometimes utilize them before you even think you need them. And then the last piece is incorporating nutrient-dense foods into your diet. So the way that we get our vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, protein, fiber, all of our macro and micronutrients is through food. And if we are consuming, if we're in a calorie deficit, this is so important, because now it's like, think about being on a budget. If you've got $2,000 and you need to pay your mortgage, you need to pay your car insurance, you need to pay for your car note, you need to pay for your electricity and your internet and your groceries. You only make you only have $2,000 a month, or 2,000 calories. You need to spend it on the most important things. And like, going shopping for a new pair of shoes sounds really fun. Like, eating brownies sounds really fun. But do we have that in our budget? So, when you're in a calorie deficit, you need to budget carefully. So you can still have those little things. I'm not saying no. I just had a Heath bar cookie a few minutes ago, but we need to make sure that you're getting all of the nutrient-dense stuff in first and foremost. So that way you're getting your vitamin C, you're getting your vitamin D, you're getting your vitamin K, you're getting your choline, you're getting your calcium, you're getting your B vitamins and all of your amino acids. Those things are really important. And so we need to prioritize those things. And the way that we'll do that is through having a plan, and just making sure that you're prioritizing those foods and you're prioritizing your meal prep, so that way you're prepared. But then also, making sure that you're getting a variety of different kinds of protein. So, you're doing chicken and turkey, sometimes dark meat, sometimes breast. You're doing different kinds of fish. You're doing different kinds of shellfish. You're doing, bison, or if you have access to, like wild game, then that's even better. Eating pork and red meat and all of those things, it's important. So that way you're getting all of the variety. Oh, and don't forget eggs and dairy too. That way you're getting a huge variety of amino acids. But then you're also not just making rice, but sometimes you do quinoa, sometimes you do farro. And then filling your plate with all different colors, like eat the rainbow. You're eating purple cabbage, you're eating green bell peppers, you're eating cauliflower, you're eating oranges and raspberries and blueberries, and you're getting all of these different colors of foods onto your plate. And by doing that, then that food variety will help you be more likely to be receiving all of those healthy micro and macronutrients that we need. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up, but those are the 5 foundations of food, 5 foundations of health: sleep quality, stabilizing your blood sugar, digestive health, healthy stress coping mechanisms, and eating plenty of nutrient dense foods. So if you have any questions about any of those, please send me a message or email me at Kyra@KyraWilliamsFitness.com. And I look forward to chatting. And if you need support in this part of your journey, please do not hesitate to reach out. I want to help you. It is not shameful to ask for help. I believe we should all have coaches. I have a couple myself. We're just there to help you make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and then obviously taking things to the next level if that's where you want to go. So please reach out and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for watching and listening.